after he pointed the gun at you, you became angry, correct?
Yeah, I became furious. I told him to use it. That was the breaking point for me.
I ain't sure on my Instagram. I'm already getting death threats. Just saying I'm an extortionist.
No one is calling you extortionist.
It was a fiery cross-examination that took a dramatic turn as Terrell Efron continued his testimony in the assault trial against A$AP Rocky. Efron, a childhood friend for over a decade, took the stand and recounted the intense moment he says Rocky shot at him during a heated altercation. But the tension in the courtroom only intensified when the defense went on the offensive. We're going to break down the most explosive moments from Efron's testimony. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law&Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Hey everybody, listen up to this. So recent allegations against the multi-billion-dollar video game industry claim that video games are engineered for addiction. The claims include trying to understand the hold that video games seem to have over people where they just can't put the controller down. Every win triggers that hit of dopamine, and that creates a cycle of compulsion which disrupts daily life. It harms mental health, but our legal sponsors are taking on the industry that has many times allegedly put profit over safety, and they're working to potentially get compensation for all of those impacted. So if you or a loved one have suffered physical or mental health issues due to video games, then visit vgclaims.com/sidebar to answer less than 10 questions and check your eligibility to file a claim. All right, let's talk about the man who is at the center of this assault trial against rapper A$AP Rocky. He has officially taken the stand, recounted the shocking moment when he claims the Grammy-nominated rapper allegedly pulled a gun on him during a confrontation on a Hollywood sidewalk. And that trial, which began last week, revolves around two alleged incidents between Rocky, whose real name is Rakim Mayers, and Terrell Efron, also known as A$AP Relli. And that took place on November 6th, 2021. Now, if you're just tuning into this case, you don't know a lot about it. Rocky is facing 2 felony counts of assault with a semi-automatic firearm after prosecutors claim he fired a gun at Efron, his former friend and collaborator. And both Rocky and Efron, they are part of this A$AP Mob hip-hop collective founded in 2006 in New York City. According to Efron, his once close relationship with Rocky began to fall apart when Rocky's fame grew, and that culminated in this alleged shooting incident. And prosecutors say Rocky fired 2 shots at Efron, who has previously stated that those bullets grazed his knuckles. There's a photograph that purports to be damages to his knuckles, but here's where things get a bit wonky in this case. So police search the scene and they don't find a gun. They don't find shell casings. It's actually 2 days after the alleged shooting that Efron reportedly brought shell casings to the police, claiming he found them at the scene. Now, Rocky's defense team is countering Efron's version of events, arguing that he is lying, that he is doing all this for money, that he is trying to extort A$AP Rocky, that he was the aggressor that day, that Rocky only fired the gun in an attempt to break up a fight. And by the way, talk about the gun, the defense argues he fired a starter pistol, essentially a prop gun, that only fires blanks, that he was carrying for security purposes, that he really didn't have a lethal weapon on him. So in other words, he didn't shoot Efron. Now, to be clear, our understanding about the charges is the level of injury sustained by Efron may not matter. Assault is generally defined as illegally attempting to commit a violent injury on someone and having the ability to carry that out. But again, having a starter pistol, prop gun, that would kind of negate it, or at least that's what the defense would argue. But Rocky was arrested in April of 2022. He pleaded not guilty. He even rejected a plea deal that would have resulted in 180 days behind bars, 6 months. Which is interesting because if he's convicted of these charges, he could face years in prison. So as this trial progresses, the jury has now heard from the alleged victim and arguably the star witness for the prosecution, Terrell Efron. He took the stand on Tuesday, continued with direct examination on Wednesday, where Rihanna, by the way, Rocky's girlfriend, the mother of his 2 children, was seen in the courtroom, adding another layer of intensity to these proceedings. According to People magazine, she was dressed in all black, sat in the gallery between Rocky's mom and sister. Now, this is not supposed to have an effect, by the way, on the jurors, but you know, sometimes you could argue family showing up, particularly Rihanna, that can humanize a defendant. Now let's talk about Efron's testimony. So he started out, again, direct examination, being questioned by the prosecution, by describing his long history with A$AP Rocky, both his friends and collaborators in their hip-hop group.
We started a collective, A$AP, which is a bunch of, how would you call it, like a bunch of people from New York that got different down nerves.
It's okay. Just take a minute. Take a couple deep breaths. The relationship that you're describing in high school, were the two of you close friends? Like, would you see him every day? Or was this sort of a friendship where you knew of him but didn't really know him?
No, we knew each other. We knew each other. We knew each other very well. And it was probably like 6 or 7 of us. Probably like 4 of them was rappers.
Do you think you'd see him every day?
Up until he got famous, yeah.
Okay.
Like a little bit until he got famous.
How long do you think you knew him before? I know it's hard to peg down exactly when someone becomes famous, but about how long do you think you knew him before he became famous?
7 years.
And over that 7 years, it was a regular occurrence that you would be with him almost every day, correct?
Yeah.
Would you describe him at that time, the beginning of your relationship, as someone that was like a brother?
Yeah.
But Efron testified that as Rocky's career took off, their once close relationship began to crumble. What was once a daily connection kind of became a rare encounter, the two only seeing each other a few times every few months. And clearly hurt by this growing distance, Efron didn't hold back, called Rocky fake, dubbed him a 6-month man, someone who would only show up sporadically.
Were you also feeling tension in your relationship with him?
I mean, it's kind of always been like that. So it's really hard having a relationship with Rocky.
Can you explain that?
I mean, you want me to tell you my personal experience? Or
Yes.
I feel like he's fake.
How so?
He lies a lot. Like, I don't see him, so it's like, how are we gonna have a relationship? You know what I mean?
Is there anything specific that you can think of?
Yeah, with like my companies or just anything, like overall. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I had this one joke I call him Mr. 6-month man, because I would see him every 6 months. You know what I mean? But then when he come around, it's like, it's fake. You know what I mean? Like, what are we supposed to be in this ASAP thing for? It's all smoke and mirrors.
Did you actually voice your displeasure
Oh,
to
yeah.
him?
Yeah.
How did you do that?
Through text messages. But nothing ever, like, threatening him or anything, just mostly telling him, like, you gotta tighten up this fake.
But you would text message him and say...
And he won't text me back. He would never text me back.
Okay.
I'll probably see him and we'll have a conversation. He'll be like, he'll laugh, like, oh, bro, you emotional or something like that. And intense, like, you know.
When he calls you emotional, you heard that as an insult to you, correct?
Not really.
Okay, how did you take it?
Like he's trying to shoot me off. Like using that as like leverage to be like, not get business done, I guess.
That's all important because that sets the stage, the context for the day of this alleged attack. And things took a much darker turn in his testimony when Efron described the events leading up to this alleged shooting. The day before the altercation, he recalled overhearing a phone conversation between Rocky and a friend of his where Rocky was supposedly bad-mouthing Relli, calling him emotional, even threatening to beat him up.
So then Rocky's like, oh yeah, you know, I got my with me, boom, 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 whatever. And then instantly after that, he says, Relli. And I'm like, I'm sitting in the back of the chair, and I kind of get up, and I'm like, and then Barbie like stops me. He's like, and then I'm listening, and then he's like, oh yeah, I don't Can I say what I want to say?
Yes.
Say it.
So he pretty much was like, oh, I don't with that, be mad emotional, like this, that, and the third, pretty much. It was so long ago, but it was, and the contents of that. And then Jabari was like, what you mean you don't with him? He's like, I just don't and I don't like that, like this, that, and the third. And after he said something about like, so long ago, but he was like, I'll beat him up or something like that. So, you want to keep going?
Let me stop you. You said, you keep saying he said. Were those all things that the defendant said specifically?
Yeah.
So he was the one that said he doesn't with you, correct?
Yeah.
Had you said anything at that point in the car that would have alerted him to the fact that you were actually in the car?
No, he didn't know I was there.
Did
I
Jabari,
wanted to say something, but Ari was like kind of put his hand to the side to like my leg. You know what I mean? And I was just listening.
I'm assuming then that Jabari didn't tell him, I'm in the car with...
Oh, no.
Then we go to November 6th, where Efron says he receives a sudden flurry of calls and texts from Rocky asking him to meet up. And Efron thought maybe they would talk things out. But when they met outside of a Hollywood parking garage, that's when things, according to him, quickly escalated.
What was the next thing that you remember that caught your attention?
I didn't see nobody. I heard Rocky though. I heard him say, "What now?" But it's been so long, so what now? What now? Something along the lines of that. Like he was like, "What now?"
And what was his tone of voice?
Oh, he was loud. Like that's what caught my attention. And then I seen Elijah first, and then Jamel, and then that's when I'm walking. Like, cause I was continuing walking. I wasn't like stopping or waiting around anywhere. I was already walking. They was already there. So
Where?
I guess they was already on Argyle because they was calling me still. Elijah was calling me to see where I'm at. Mind you, I was far. That hotel's far. So when I got there, I'm walking down the block. I wasn't like waiting, calling him or anything. I'm still en route pretty much. So I hear him as I'm en route still. And then that's when we meet up and then we see the altercation.
Now, during the altercation, Efron wasn't by himself. He was with a friend, also a member of the ASAP mob. This was somebody who was actually seemingly trying to break up the confrontation between the two. And despite hearing Rocky allegedly shout profanities at him, Efron insisted he never thought the situation would escalate into a real fight. And he explained that even if it did, he really wouldn't have done anything because an actual physical fight with ASAP Rocky, he thought that would have been quite bad for his career.
I'm walking up towards him. Were you expecting to get in a physical fight with him?
I mean, at that moment, before then, no, I thought maybe we was gonna talk. Or even when he did bring them, I thought maybe he was bringing them to like make a statement or something to like let them think that he's like tough or something. I don't know. That's what I kind of thought like after.
No, I'm not talking about ills or 12. I'm just talking about the defendant.
Okay.
Were you approaching him of the state of mind that you were going to have a physical fight with him?
No, the whole time, to be honest, I would never fight Rocky. And that's God's honest truth. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have a reason to fight him. We're in an industry where you get blackballed really easy. I'm obviously on the lower end of the stick here. You get what I'm saying? So that's why in the video, you notice I'm a lefty. I pushed him away with my left. He grabbed me with two hands. If I wanted to fight him, and mind you, we're walking. If I wanted to fight him, I would have hit him with the right. You get what I'm saying? And it would have been fighting. Like, I stopped him with my left. And in the video, that's when you see Elijah, like, kind of like breaking it up after.
Before we talk about the video, we'll get there. I want, if there's any other way that you can explain that to the jury, what it would mean for you to get in a physical fight, specifically with the defendant, at that moment.
The only thing that would make me fight Rocky is if I'm physically like hurt, like if he punched me. Then I would consider hitting him or fighting him. But I would give him, just because who he is, like I wouldn't, I think he uses that to his benefits of like whoever famous, that whoever is, but like I wasn't gonna fight him.
What would it mean for your career if you got in a physical fight with him?
Oh, it would be over.
How so?
It would be over.
Can you
Literally
explain
over. You don't have a career.
Was that in your head?
I'm like part of a conglomerate, like a group. So if I fight Rocky and I beat him up, or if we fight or something, I'm already not liked, and people don't like me like that. So I'm fighting him. I'm definitely getting blackballed, and all the labels like him and work with him and do this. You know what I mean? Like I'm just trying to swither my way in. You know what I mean? So if that comes to like light that we fought or something like that, I'm pretty sure it won't go good. Like nobody would do business with me or other things like that, you know what I mean?
Now, this directly contradicts the defense's claim that Efron was the one who instigated this altercation. And Efron then detailed the moment, reportedly captured on surveillance footage, when Rocky allegedly grabbed him by the collar when the two finally met up.
So could you tell as he was approaching you that you were headed for a physical confrontation with him?
His hands wasn't up. It was more so walking, so then when we got to each other, he initiated, like try to like grab me or try to like grab me by my collar. That's why you see like that, and I like grab him off. You know what I mean?
So as best you can remember it, he was the first one who grabbed you by the collar,
Then he grabbed me by my collar.
and then you raised which of your hands to
My left.
your left hand to separate from him.
Yeah.
Do you remember your tone?
I was angry because he touched me. I was just like, with me or probably like. But then, mind you, the gun came out seconds later, so then my tone got really angry after. Because what the got a gun for? And that's what I said.
Okay, so you kind of move forward. You remember being angry because he's tugging at your sweatshirt.
Mm-hmm.
Then he had the gun in his hand. Did you see where the gun came from?
Came from his waistline.
Did you personally see him with a gun on occasions before this?
No, he has a lot of security.
Okay. Did you, if someone said that the defendant was known to carry a prop gun or fake guns, would that have been knowledge that you personally had?
No, he don't carry fake guns. You don't. Prop guns?
Yes.
No.
You never knew him to carry a prop. From what we see on the video, the two of you move off screen off the video. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
And when the two of you move off of the screen, is that where he first pulled the gun out of his waistband?
Yeah.
What was the first thing that you saw him do with the gun?
Oh, he pointed at me, and then that's when Elijah was like in between, and he's like, "I'll kill you right now."
Now, interestingly, Efron testified that he had no idea Rocky even carried a firearm, let alone a prop gun. And that further contradicts the defense's claim that Efron knew it was a fake firearm and purposely provoked Rocky into shooting him. So in a heated moment, Efron described how he angrily told Rocky to fire the gun at him, saying he was furious enough to die over the situation. And then he explained the moment when Rocky allegedly pointed the weapon at him, recalling how all of this unfolded.
When you said he pointed at you, where on your body was it pointing?
Like towards my stomach, like towards like my headish a little. Like everything was happening so fast. You know what I mean?
And from what you're describing, was it moving?
Yeah, it was moving. He had it up.
Okay, so he didn't just hold it at your stomach. It was kind of
No, he was looking for a spot to shoot.
Okay.
If Elijah wasn't there, I don't know what would have happened.
And you said as he was pointing it at you, what did he say?
I'll kill you right now.
And was that in an angry tone?
Yeah, he was livid.
Was his voice elevated? Like, was he yelling this at you, or was this something he was saying quiet?
Yeah, because we was yelling back and forth at this point.
All right. And you said that after he pointed the gun at you, you became angry, correct?
Yeah, I became furious.
So what did you say back to him?
I told him to use it. I physically cannot believe there was a gun in my face. Like, that was the breaking point for me. Because like what I said, I told this kid numerous times, if you have a problem with me, let me know. You know what I mean? I feel like this got to the max. Like this was like no return. So if I was willing to die for my respect at this point, I don't care. You get what I'm saying? Like if this is what you want to do, I still have my dignity. That's how I felt.
So as Tuesday's testimony wrapped up, the jury was left in suspense, still unclear about the exact circumstances surrounding how Rocky allegedly fired the shots. But when Relli returned to the stand on Wednesday, he detailed the precise moments when he claims Rocky fired that gun.
The whole thing was like a movie, like, you know what I mean? So he kind of like pointed down, he shot the first shot. When he shot the first shot, I felt my hand hot, so I grabbed the hills, used him as a shield. He's going around trying to shoot me between the hills. 12B is off to the side. I'm not really worried about him. I'm just trying to like not get hit at this point.
You said, as you were saying that he had the gun out, you had your right arm extended about shoulder high.
Yeah, because he kind of like, when he turned around, kind of like his back was turned, like it was kind of like you turned around, the gun's there, he kind of jumped when he shot, and kind of shot down, like, you know what I'm saying?
The gun that he was holding, did it look like the same gun that he pulled on you at the parking lot?
Yeah.
And when you say he shot down, what do you mean by that?
Like, I mean, like it was kind of like this. It wasn't like, he pointing and doing, but it wasn't like aiming at you. It was kind of like that. So he, like I said, it was like a movie kind of like, boom. And then like just running around trying to like get me.
Okay, the motion he made with his arm, Your Honor.
Describe.
Yeah, so he had his arm extended out, and then as he was saying shot down, he lifted his arm up to about head high, and then had his pointer finger sort of pointed forward but in the downward trajectory.
Yeah, it was higher than that.
Well, I don't really remember, but from what like, it was more like, it was fast. He turned around, and then it was like, boom. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
not like that.
Okay. You said that as he shot the gun the first time,
Mm-hmm.
you said your hand felt hot, correct?
Yeah.
Where on your hand felt hot?
My left hand.
Where?
Left hand. Just right above my knuckles. Like my knuckles right here, below my knuckles. So it's right here.
So after the shooting, Efron returned to the scene, photographed the two shell casings. This detail is as strange as it is significant because when police initially arrived, as I said, they really didn't find evidence of a shooting. Now, prosecutors have seemed to suggest that maybe that's because when the call came in to them, they weren't told the exact location of this alleged shooting. But Efron also claimed he sent the photos of the casings to Rocky, who allegedly denied firing a weapon. And instead, Rocky accused him of attempting to extort him. Now, Efron, by the way, has filed a civil lawsuit against Rocky, but that's been put on the back burner as we see what shakes up with this criminal case. But I want you to keep that in mind because now we're turning to the cross of Efron. And defense attorney Joe Tacopina, who's representing Rocky, wasted no time diving in, aggressively questioning Efron's credibility and his previous testimony. They're of the opinion this is all a shakedown, this is all an extortion attempt. And things got quickly heated as Tacopina replayed Efron's emotional testimony from Wednesday, where he claimed he once loved Rocky, pressing him on whether he was being truthful. But Efron wasn't backing down. He repeatedly said he didn't understand the questions and even began asking Tacopina questions in return, which a witness is not allowed to do of an attorney.
Well, did you hear your testimony?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. And when you said, I said, you, it was with love, right? That's what you said.
I don't get what you're saying. I'm sorry.
What did you hear yourself just say?
I don't get what you're saying.
Here's my question. Here it comes. What did you hear yourself just say?
But what are you getting at? I don't get what you're saying.
Don't worry about what I'm getting at.
But explain it again. I'm getting confused. I'm getting confused.
Just listen. He's asking you, did you hear your testimony?
Mm-hmm.
Yes? He's just asking you.
Did I say it? Did I say, I don't know. Can you explain the question?
Did you just see yourself?
No, but you're not explaining the question.
Here's my question.
I see myself, but you're not explaining. So what I'm supposed to say is just
Well, just listen. Did you see yourself? Did you see yourself?
I see myself.
Did you hear yourself?
I heard myself.
Was that truthful?
What's truthful?
What you just said?
That I love him or like we was cool? I don't know what you mean. I said a lot of things.
The part that you said, if I said you, it was sort of wishy-washy with love, you know? That part.
Okay, it's true. True.
True?
Yeah.
By the way, before we start talking about the events surrounding November 6th, 2021, which we will talk about, Mr. Efron.
Can you pull up the rest of the text message?
Mr. Efron, here's what we're going to do. I'll ask the questions. You're going to answer. Okay, if you can. In November 2021, you told people that you were a millionaire, correct?
What?
You do not understand my question.
I don't understand this. Yes, no, I don't know. But why don't you show my Instagram? I'm already getting death threats. People threatening my daughter. Like, what's going on here?
Who gave you that, Mr. Efron?
The whole world.
The world threatened you? The whole world gave you
Because of
that?
what you're saying.
Because I asked you a question, now you understand.
Because you're saying I'm an extortionist and all of this, you putting my whole life on. This is getting really annoying.
No one is calling you an extortionist. You're going to get, Mr. Efron, you're going to get through a lot faster if you just answer the questions.
Now, the judge attempted to restore order into the courtroom by instructing Efron to just answer the questions, no matter what his personal feelings were about them. And Tacopina went on to question Efron about his social media posts, specifically Instagram captions that seemingly highlighted his wealth and lifestyle. But Efron grew increasingly frustrated, which may not be a great thing for the prosecution. You don't want your star witness to act like that. And he questioned why his Instagram was even being brought up in court. And it became so intense that the judge ended up having to call for a break.
If somebody asks an improper question, I won't allow it to go forward. If you're being asked a question that's lawful in a courtroom, just answer it. Even if it makes you mad, even if you don't see the point of it, just answer the questions as truthfully as you can, regardless of who asked. Please do that, okay? Yes?
Yes.
So what do you mean by if it ain't about money, I ain't linking you? What's that mean?
I don't know, it's a phrase.
And what did you mean by it? You posted, was it?
Nothing.
How about this next one? This is defense,
He is it ever.
He is next. From your Instagram lifestyle. That's you, sir, in Mercedes with the caption, "More funds is the focus right now," and that's June 5th, 2023.
What's wrong with that?
Mr. Efron, I ask you a question. I'm not saying anything's wrong.
Okay, what's up?
What do you mean by that? More funds is the focus right now.
I mean, trying to get successful. Like, what do you mean? I do private equity, I do a lot of things, but I don't understand these questions. Why am I answering questions about my Instagram?
Well, you talked a lot about your lifestyle yesterday, about your business, and right now you're trying to private equity, which we'll get to, and how you earn your money. Right? We're talking about that. So you just said you're portraying a lavish life from non-court. So I'm talking about some of the postings on your Instagram, like this next one.
But Instagram is a place of, like, I don't see how you basing me as a person off my Instagram.
Okay.
Let's take a 10-minute break.
Well, after the break, a real turning point came when Tacopina focused on Efron's phone and text messages exchanged with Rocky prior to the incident. And according to the defense, Efron deleted key messages before handing over his phone to law enforcement, messages that allegedly painted a more aggressive version of him. So Tacopina presented Efron with the deleted messages, asking why they were missing. Take a listen to his response.
Now, that was put into evidence yesterday by the prosecution. You saw that yesterday, correct, sir? Yeah. Okay. Now, there's no, as you see, there's no message above that, right? Under it is the video you sent of the shell cases. Subsequently, that was later, that was at 11:58. But before that, before the incident in 9:34, is just that, right?
I mean, I don't know.
Okay. Before turning your phone over to law enforcement, you in fact deleted messages which you sent to Rocky on November 6, 2021. Is that right?
I don't recall.
Okay. Well, let's show you. See, what wasn't on your phone, but remained on Rocky's phone, was what you deleted. Mr. Efron.
Your Honor, that is no argument. Hold on. You're right. It's argumentative.
Okay. You see the text messages you sent at
This is fake. It's fake.
It's fake also.
It's fake. I never seen it. You don't even write like that. This dude would not write me.
No. What are you talking about?
This is supposed to be Rakim right here?
No, sir. No, sir. That's you writing to Rocky.
Oh, okay.
Okay. That's right. Rocky's responding to you, WYA, let's get to it, stop up on calls. You saw that yesterday. and you were on the front of Trader Joe's.
Yeah, because that's when I seen Jabari. So that was at 6 when obviously when I heard him saying he was going to beat me up and do everything else under the moon.
Right. So you wrote that message to him.
I did.
Okay. Why did you delete that from your cell phone before you turned it over to law enforcement?
That assumes
I did not stop.
not an evidence. Did you delete that text from your cell phone?
Yeah, but I didn't delete it because I handed it over to you.
Did you delete it?
Yeah.
Okay. Your question now becomes relevant.
Why did you delete that string before you turned your phone over to law enforcement?
Yeah, I know you remember. Weird. Oh yeah, so I asked him to beat me up because of.
He's asking. Oh, you already said you did delete it. He's asking why. Why did you delete it?
I think I deleted his whole message, and that's why it popped up a whole new one.
He's asking you why you deleted it.
I don't remember.
Okay. All right.
Now, we had to blur out the text messages because they were full of profanities, but one of the texts that was allegedly deleted read, "You got all these fake animosity towards me, LOL, beat me up." And remember, the defense's argument is that Efron instigated the incident, and Efron does not offer an explanation as to why he did or did not allegedly delete these messages. The defense, though, they press further on why he would want to hide these messages, but Efron claimed that no matter what was deleted, it didn't justify Rocky allegedly pulling out a gun.
Why did you delete it?
I think I deleted his whole message, and that's why it popped up a whole new one.
He's asking you why you deleted it.
I don't remember.
Okay. All right.
Don't remember.
Okay. Anyway,
But if it was me, I would have kept it. I mean, I'm really.
okay. Anyway, you testified yesterday to this jury that when you went to meet Rocky on November 6th, that you weren't.
I know I went to go meet him.
You gotta let him finish the question.
You testified to this jury yesterday that when you went to go meet Rocky on November 6th, you weren't wanting to have a physical fight. Remember saying that to the jury?
Is that the day of the shooting?
Yes, sir. That's November 6th. What's that?
It's okay.
Okay.
But what was your question? Can you say it again?
You testified to this jury yesterday that on November 6th, when you were going to meet Rocky, you weren't wanting to have a physical fight with him, right?
I said in preliminary hearing, and I said yesterday, this is 3 years ago, I said it.
Yes,
A fight is a fight. Like, I don't mind a fight, but I still want to fight the kid.
Mr. Efron, that's not, you're answering a question that he didn't ask. Okay. Ask the question again.
Sure. See this jury here? You told this jury yesterday that on November 6th, when you were going to meet Rocky, you weren't wanting to have a physical fight with him. You recall saying that yesterday?
Yes.
No.
I don't really know, but
Yeah, yes. Well, at that point, you didn't think anyone was going to see your deleted messages, did you?
I really don't care because it's not. What does that doesn't mean bring a gun.
Okay. That's your answer?
Can you pull it back up?
Oh,
Like, what do you mean?
Let's put it back up.
Dude, threatening me.
Put it back up. Put it back up. Excuse me.
Okay, I said you got all this fake animosity towards me. Laugh out loud, beat me up because I'm saying I heard him tell Jabari he was gonna beat me up and do everything under the moon. So okay,
And what's the line under?
nigga, I wish you would.
With what?
I wish you would try to beat me up.
What do you say under that?
Give me a reason
Reason to do what?
to fight you or whatever. At this point, you gotta understand what it's leading up to. We're not cool. It's obviously not cool. Like, but I'm willing to go to him because he called me with his goons and link him and see what was going on because I've said it many a times. We can easily talk this out. This ain't the first time me and Rocky had an altercation where it hasn't been talked out.
You told the jury yesterday you were going there to, quote, make things better.
I mean, yeah, like anything can happen. Anything can happen. I'm not going into a fight.
As I said, intense testimony. If convicted, A$AP Rocky could face several years behind prison. We will see. As this trial moves forward, all eyes will remain on the witness stand as both sides continue to spar it out. And for ongoing coverage, you can stream the full trial proceedings and other legal cases on the Law and Crime YouTube page. And that's all we have for you here on Sidebar, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. And as always, please subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you should get your podcasts. I'm Jesse Weber. I'll speak to you next time.